Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Insightful Conversations with your host, Krishna Radha. Today, the guest on our show is Krishna Prem. He is author of book GURU and Aloneness, a Love Story. The book traces the spiritual and emotional journey of a boy born into an American Jewish family. Krishna Prem grew up in the quiet shadows of a home, missing a mother's presence. She passed away when he was 1 year, leaving the burden and the beauty of child rearing to her elder sister, who took it on very lovingly. His father passed away when he was 9. Um, this early vacuum of love birthed a profound question, an existential questioning: who I am, where did I come from? He describes himself as a curious child. This wasn't merely childhood wonder, it was a driving force that often manifested as rebellion against the status quo. Through series of twists and turns, Krishna Prem landed at the feet of enlightened master Guru Osho. So today, let's invite him on the stage and ask him where the journey has taken him. Hi, Krishna Prem. How are you? Welcome.
I'm very good today. Very high season in Pune right now. The whole world is here, and it's fun. And
Good. I'm glad.
sometimes anybody that's been to Pune knows there's quiet months and exciting months. Some people like quiet months. I like exciting months. I find it easier to be alone when a lot of friends are here. It's just I spend a lot of time alone, a lot of time in my room, but I love that there's chaos all around me.
Mhm. Right. So,
Yeah.
Krishna Prem, I'm not going to go into the details because a lot of your life story and how you reached Osho and your life before that is in your book.
Yeah.
When you reach Osho Ashram and you meet Osho, what happens? You meet him for the first time.
Yeah. What happened is it's very, very simple. I didn't come to India to meet Osho. I came to India because as an American, I got a job managing a hotel in London. And 50 years ago, the English kids had lifetime visas for India, and there was a tremendous coming and going from London to Mumbai, and it was called the Hippie Trail. And I made quite a bit of money managing this hotel because I was able to sell it
Hmm.
for the. And there I am, still drunk because a hotel in London means you become alcoholic.
Hmm.
And it was a very good idea for me to drink because I was getting over saying no to America. I didn't want to fight in the Vietnam War. And I got an honorable discharge, but it really took a lot out of me because I'm not the kind of guy that says no very much. And so when I was managing the hotel, I did a lot of drinking because you would come in and I'm so sorry your husband left you and let's have a drink. And oh my gosh, you were fired from work. Let's have a drink. And I ended up on the third night, no one was there and I was still drinking. And I realized what was happening. I was repressing my feelings through alcohol. And I decided I needed to learn another way. And my young friends from England suggested I go to India to learn to meditate. And I never heard of Osho. No one ever did actually in those days. You know, it was brand new. And I showed up in Mumbai and I met a young woman and she told me about Osho. And she was so loving and beautiful. And those qualities I was lacking in my own life. So I decided to get into on a third class train for 3 hours into the shithole of India. And I had to rent a bull and a cart because there weren't any rickshaws. And I went to see Osho. And this was before his Rolls Royces. He had a rented Chevrolet, and I had a rented bullet cart. And I pulled up beside his car. You know, I was so naive, I didn't know what a master is. I took a nap in the rickshaw, I mean, in the bullock cart, and a young girl woke me up that worked for Osho, and she said, "He's ready to see you." And I went in to see him, and it was great. It was great. He was in one room in a little simple white. I don't. It wasn't even a robe, like a lungi. You know the words wrapped around his body, and
Mm. It's a loincloth, simple
yeah,
loincloth.
that was it. That was it. He was just simple, simple, simple. And I looked at him. I went, "Holy shit! This is someone. This is someone." And what I mean by that is he had presence. You could. I just walked in and I felt him alive, and I walked in feeling dead, but
Mhm.
I was aware enough to see that I was dead. So he could see he was alive. I could see I was dead. There's not much difference, except enlightenment. So, and he looked at me and he said, "I hope you know that the revolution is inside of yourself." And I exploded. I simply exploded because um, the U.S. Army didn't live inside of me anymore. It left my body, and then I could deal with myself, and I was ready to deal with myself, and it was such a blessing. I don't know how to explain it, but if, for example, it's not your boyfriend, it's you. It's not your parents, it's you. And once you're comfortable in your own skin, that's when you have room to say I love you to your parents, and it's when you have time for a real relationship. But until you're naked and vulnerable and alone, you might as well vote. There's meditation really requires a lot of work, and that work is to become yourself. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
It's hilarious. To a guy like me, it's hilarious that we all have to find out who we are.
So, Krishna Prem, you are coming from the West,
Yeah,
America, which I live here, and it's a very the education system, everything here develops an ego, a self. It.
unbelievable.
And at the East, I grew up in East. It is all about accepting whatever's the core is acceptance, and it's easier to understand that there's a guru. And I don't say it like every Eastern who bows down to a guru is doing it from the heart or whatever, but it's easier
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
So you come from the West to the East with a skeptical Western mind. How easy it is for your ego and to become a Osho disciple.
Well, first of all, it is kind of ironic that I'm a Jewish white boy living in India, and you're an Indian girl living in America. Already, this is amazing. And already, it's so important. There's no such thing as the East or West, you know. Um, but there is such a thing as the word and that means the East and the West.
Mhm.
So, in a way, we are so blessed to live in both cultures and to get ripped apart because
But my
cultures.
question is, when at that time, this is now when you're like
Oh,
probably 50 years, then how was it? Was it like, does the mind play games and says, hey, I'm not going to do this? Or,
yeah. Well, yeah, to be honest, you don't know when the mind is going to say hello. You know, when I met Osho, it was no mind. I exploded into I need to change my life right now, and I did change my life right now. That now, what I want to say to you is maybe 10 years later, then my mind kicked in and said, "You gave so much to Osho, so little to society. You have nothing but happiness. You can't buy a loaf of bread with happiness." So I threw myself in. There's no way to explain how crazy I am, but
Mhm.
that craziness was based on love. And when I walked back into America 4 years after I met Osho, 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 4 years after I met I could see. I was so in love, I could see. And that seeing was not a negative thing. And I think that seeing became, my love became compassion for the people that I met. And between love and compassion, even financially, I made a lot of money because people were very attracted to me because I had love, compassion, and no judgment. And I started a whole city based on meditation with a $1 food stamp. A $1. That's how electric I was. Now, I don't want the viewers to think that's true today because even with all the bliss I'm talking about and all the love I'm talking about, you still hit the wall every once in a while. You still doubt yourself every once in a while. But sometimes I can use that self doubt to just be bigger. But even today, I have no idea how I made it to this interview. You know how I paid my bills, how I was extremely generous in every moment of my life. But
Even
I
today, Krishna Prem, is it the financial? Because we all think spiritual is great, but to live,
yeah,
we all need money and economics, and that has to be
yes,
taken care of. So,
absolutely.
so is today, how does it work for you today? Because you've, as you said, you gave all your life, and
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I can honestly say I don't have a future, but that's meditation teaches you how to live in the present. So as I speak to you right now, I'm having a cup of coffee. I have friends here. My bills are paid, uh, and I just walk through and I laugh, and
who
I
pays
meet
your bills?
what I know I'm just a crazy man. I can't give you a formula. Like, all
Hmm.
I can say is, as you know, um, I was I've been rich, very rich, and I thought maybe I'm going to die because I don't know what rich people tend to get fat and ugly. I mean, that's what happened to me. And one day I decided I needed to let go. In other words, I'm in love with Osho, but that doesn't mean I don't hate him sometimes. And
Hmm.
when I hate him, I go into the world and I get a job. And I use that same love and awareness to actually make money. I can't explain that to the audience because it's not a formula, but I did very well. And then one day I realized I needed to go back and see Osho and I needed to let go of my wealth for my well being. And I was able to do that. And then what happened is now I have to make money again, and I'm doing it again. Isn't it cute? I I'm nothing. I don't know how to explain it, love, because I don't want people to say I can do that. Krishna Prem did that. I, when I met Osho, he said to me, "How do you feel, Krishna Prem?" And I said, "Osho, I feel lucky." He
Yeah.
couldn't stop laughing. He said, "Everybody else says they're enlightened, and I know they're not. And you come and you say you feel lucky, and I know you are." And he said, "You stay with me as long as you feel lucky." So
Mhm.
here I am today with you. I still feel lucky. And I'm a very ordinary man now. I don't like it as much as the mystic said I would like to feel ordinary, but I'm everything. I have love in my life. I have friends in my life. I have meditation in my life. But I don't know if what I have would make you happy. I know it makes me happy. So you have to look for what makes you happy. And now happy is just an adjective. It's so being is real.
Yeah.
Happy, poor, rich, loving, those are all adjectives. Being real is the answer.
So you come across as a very cheerful, happy guy. Um,
Yeah.
my own experience has been people who look so happy and cheerful, usually there's a deep sadness or grief to them.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So,
Yeah, I know what deep
grief
sadness
in
is.
private, how do you handle your grief and your sadness?
Very good question. The same way you would. I can give you one hint. It's about be here now. In other words, when I'm sad, I do not build a house called I'm going to be sad forever. I just allow the sadness to go everywhere in my life that it wants to be. And I take a look at it and I say, I'm going to just add me to the sadness.
Mm,
I'm going to add meditation to sadness. And then life comes and goes. Life comes and goes. So for me, all meditation means is to be here now and not waste your time building a house called sadness, building a house called jealousy. You know, I'm if can I give you one more example of Osho? Osho asked me to sit beside him because I was leaving for California to start a meditation center for Osho. He said, "That's so great. Please sit beside me tonight." But he never said that it was a free outdoor talk in Mumbai, which meant 15,000 people got there before I did.
mhm,
When I got there, I knew I had made a mistake. I knew I was too relaxed, you know. So, but I just sat there because I didn't want to insult those 15,000 people by going and sitting with Osho.
mm,
Closed my eyes to say how upset I was with myself for missing this opportunity. And when I opened my eyes, there were 15,000 Indian friends behind me. I couldn't move. I could not move. And every mosquito in the greater Mumbai area knew that I had Greek yogurt and honey for breakfast. And I couldn't even see the sky. It was just mosquitoes. I hated that moment. And then Osho started speaking Hindi for 3 hours. I was stuck listening to Hindi. And right in the middle of the talk, he said, "Do not build your house on the bridge." And I meditated on that one line because I felt Osho was speaking to me. And it's the gift of my life. So whenever I'm on the bridge, and Buddha said his last words were keep moving, keep moving. When I build a house, I don't lock the doors and I open the windows and I'm always ready to come. I'm always ready to go. So if I meet a beautiful woman, I leave the doors and the windows open so she can leave if she wants. And if she leaves, I trust that she might come back. So I don't build a house called attachment. I don't build a house called money. I try not to even build a house, but of course you do sometimes, you know that. I just try to keep moving, keep moving. And when you do that, you'll find that misery absolutely will leave your body. Misery is not real. Misery is a thought. So if you're ready to keep moving, see, when thoughts move, it becomes thinking. Thinking is okay. Thinking comes and goes. Thoughts stay forever. So you have to become a little more liquid,
mm,
a little more flowing, a little
mm.
bit more a joke unto yourself, as Osho would say to me. And yeah, oh yeah, one of the reasons I'm happy is you're talking to me right now. If I was alone, I wouldn't be nearly as happy. So there's something in what you said, very astute. You know, I know what misery is, but I can tell you right now that I also know how to take a thought of misery, move it into thinking about misery, and watching it leave, watching it leave. And it leaves through good food, it leaves through meditation, it leaves through love. Uh, all the ordinary things in life are so valuable to let go of misery.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, since we were talking, and this is a fun question. You say in your book that sex was payoff in this lifetime for you. Where has sex taken you?
Oh, sex has taken me right to this moment. You're a beautiful young woman, and you know what I want for you? To meet a beautiful young person. You
I have
know,
a husband.
you have a husband?
Yeah.
Well, you have to turn him into husbanding. Life has to be a verb.
Mm,
You know, you're not married, you're marrying every single moment. You
mm,
know, marriage is just your parents telling you what they want from you. Loving is what you want from you. So by the way, I look at you, I can see you love your husband. This is great. But it's always a work in progress. Always, always, always.
Yes.
And so
So,
I've been blessed because of Osho. Fabulous. I don't want people to misinterpret it, but a fabulous sex life. Osho attracted women
yeah.
3 times as many times as he attracted men. Now I'm a great guy, but I'm not a rock star. I'm just an ordinary great guy. And I had so many wonderful women in my life, and what allowed me to graduate. It allowed me, as an older man now, I flirt as if you think I was a lover, but I haven't made love in years and years and years. But I feel juicy. I feel naughty. Uh, and if it wasn't for Osho, I would still be involved with women as a thought. Now, I love thinking about women, but I certainly don't want to have a thought stop and make love. I
Mm,
want, I want to I want you to have fun, but I'm not interested. But
mm,
I still feel sexy just because I'm alive. Can you imagine?
mm,
When I have a meal, I don't eat a meal as if I'm not a lover. I eat a meal as if I am a lover. You know,
mm.
when I flirt as a lover, but I no longer need the outcome of a woman.
Okay.
So I had fun, but who cares? And my lovers, all my ex-lovers, which is not as many as I just bragged about, but my no, but you know what I mean, because you fall in love sometimes.
Yeah.
Those are these are still my best friends.
Mm,
My family doesn't really know who I am anymore. But my ex-girlfriends, there's three in particular, they just know me and they love me, and they're married to other people right now,
mhm,
and there's room for that because the husbands aren't jealous because they can tell that I'm free now.
mm. So, Krishna Prem, when you were in the commune, and there are beautiful women, and I've heard this from many
Oh
other
yeah,
sannyasins that I've interviewed, and the women
yeah,
were especially very insecure that less men and more women, the men were enjoying themselves. But you,
yeah,
in your book, make a very interesting point. You say you knew that all these women came for Osho,
yeah.
and you were kind of just having the windfall gain by being there.
Absolutely, they didn't want me over Osho, that's for sure.
How it doesn't it like hit your ego? Like basically, it's a how does it work? Do you want to take a break, drink
No,
water?
no, no, that's so cute. No, I probably got nervous and coughed. But yeah, yeah, I don't even know. There's so many things that come up, but basically, Osho was unbelievably attractive, and um, I was in love with him.
Mhm,
I didn't want to sleep with him, but I was absolutely in love with him. So I knew what the women must have been going through.
mhm,
But a mature woman knows that that's just fun. You know, you that's just fun. So I mean, I was with great women who loved Osho more than me, for example. But that doesn't mean they didn't love me. I don't know how to explain it.
I get it.
Osho was very attractive even to me, so I would never take that away from a woman. You know, but
Yeah.
if she was dreaming about Osho, that's different. Then I would be upset and correct her or leave her. I didn't mind they were in love, but if they were dreaming about him, dreaming is not reality, and I would pop the
Mm,
dream. And sometimes that worked with a woman loved me because she could see the Osho in me. By the way, I
mhm.
know that I don't, I'm sick of everybody putting Osho on a pedestal. He just had what it takes. And there's moments that I have what it takes. There's moments I'm not the big Osho, but for sure I'm a wonderful little Osho, and
This
and
reminds me of one of your friends. He sent me a question. Um,
haha,
he said,
who is that? Who's that friend of mine? I'm going to kill him.
I don't know. I haven't checked with him if he wants to.
No,
the
no,
anonymous
just
owner. So,
yeah.
but he said that you wrote Osho once a question, and you said, "How long do I have to wait, Osho, for you to go so I can be the guru?" And then you
Ah,
talked
you know, you know, I oh, that's so fun. But kill him if you see him or her. Now, this is what you have to understand that Osho never wanted to be a guru. He wanted to be a friend. When I came to Osho 50 years ago, I didn't need a friend. I needed a father figure. I needed an enlightened master. And I put a lot of pressure on Osho to be um, to be a lie in a way, you know, to be bigger than me. And in the end, he would say to all of us, please forgive me and forget me. He didn't want us to look up anymore. He wanted to, it's the cosmic joke that I'm the disciple and he's the master. This, in the end, we're one. We're absolutely one. And I have that feeling now. I'm one with Osho, but I'm not Osho. You know, Osho was so super intelligent and super everything, but he was not bigger than me. I can. I don't want to disturb your audience. I am Osho. You know, uh, not in the big way. But when you have lunch with me, you're having lunch with Osho. And he would always say, "Why would you and I go to a movie when we can gossip about him?" You follow what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And so I'm a big gossip for Osho. I'm more in love with Osho than when I was in love with Osho. You know, and yeah, I can't. I am so blessed, and so are you. And you know, it's not a big deal. It's the way it is. Life is such a mystery to be lived. No,
Mhm.
so don't ask me about happiness and sadness. Ask me if life is a mystery. And I don't know. It's so much fun. It's fun being with you. You're shining right now. I should be more like you instead of like me. Maybe it's your makeup. You wear makeup that makes
I
you
have
shine.
lights. I have lights on me.
Oh, you fucking cheat! You're a cheat. You know, if the viewers are looking at both of us right now, they can see life coming into your being, and they can see actually life leaving my being. I am 82. Every day is my last day, and to be honest, I'm shining from the inside, but you're shining from the outside. And this is you have to take advantage of being a young, fresh woman in love and breathe into it, not to make your love bigger and more loving. And you take advantage of being young, but it's a horrible period actually compared to being old. But
Why is
I can't teach you. You have to find that out for you. Hopefully you'll make it to 50. I don't know. You look pretty dangerous. I don't know how long you're going to live.
my
Yeah.
God,
Did you
that's a
have children?
dangerous prediction.
Did you have
Okay,
any babies yet?
I do. I do.
Yeah, how old?
They're teenagers.
Really fantastic. You still like them a little bit?
I love them. I don't know about them.
That's and it's only about you. I mean, teenagers are about to leave you, as you know,
Yeah,
and
I
and
find
they'll
it's
have
a happy phase. You did what you could, and now they are
yeah,
about to
but
take
for
off.
sure they're leaving soon, but they'll be back when they're 28. So you're going to have to count on yourself a little bit for a few years.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll see.
I don't know. I'm just having fun with you. You know, I don't
No,
want you to
I'm
leave.
happy actually. Like it's less work now, so it's good.
Exactly. Exactly. You just have to hold a space. David Premal, the singer, I hope you know her from the Gayatri Mantra. She used to say, love and space. And like with two teenagers, you have to have both qualities where you love them, but you have space for them to be themselves. And if you give a lot of space, they come back. If you don't give space, they keep running.
Yeah.
And we have, as parents, we need to learn love and space and trust. And I mean, it's amazing meditation to have two children. Did you have them with the same father? They had the same father?
Yes.
Good, good. He's an Indian boy. Where is he from?
Yeah, yeah, from Bombay.
There you go. You know what I mean. And you
Yeah.
have to look at that. You know how you were conditioned to marry an Indian boy. The good news is you actually were conditioned to also be in love. Your parents at least were that amazing. So I'm sure they didn't tell you you had to marry that boy. I'm sure somewhere you had a feeling,
Yeah, life
right?
is mysterious, right? Life is mysterious and it takes us through,
Amazing,
yes, this
amazing.
journey. And
Well,
um,
you look terrific, by the way. You look terrific, and I'm
yes,
proud of you. You know,
thank you. So do
you,
you.
I mean, you love Osho. I mean, people don't know what a great win that is. But don't take Osho serious. You know, just enjoy him, enjoy him, enjoy him. But
I
please
think
don't
he's
take.
made sure that nobody takes him seriously through.
Oh, that's good news. But we have to remind each other. Otherwise, we look up instead of look in. You know.
Yeah, yeah. But loving
Right.
him is great. It's easy and it's great.
Yeah. Amazing. Good for you.
Well, another friend of yours sent me a question. She said, "Did you miss Osho in the sense you missed and the enlightenment part? And do you think you will be enlightened in this life?"
Yeah, I missed Osho for a while, and then I got the joke that it's he gave me the biggest gift he gave me was leaving his body.
Mm.
I would have never grown up. I was in service. I was very successful for Osho. Uh, Millions and millions of dollars came through me, and I always felt it a blessing because I could support his work. But now I am enlightened, and so is the person that wrote that question. And we have to stop thinking we're not enlightened. We're actually here's my explanation. I've been wrong my whole life. That we're all asleep pretending, you know, we're all asleep, but we're all awake. So most people can think they can't handle enlightenment because they think they're going to have to do something if they're enlightened. But enlightenment means to be someone that can do something. So yes, some moments I'm absolutely enlightened. I'm just a human being that can do something. And if I fail, I get upset, but not forever. Not forever. So I'm enlightened and you're enlightened, and the person that wrote that question is enlightened. And the problem with the question is then we put Osho again higher. If we're not enlightened and Osho's enlightened, who's higher and who's lower? You know, we have to stop. And it's not an ego trip. When I say I'm enlightened, it sounds like an ego trip. That's the cute thing. I'm willing to be an asshole for enlightenment. You know, where you're quieter than I am, and enlightenment for you is almost like a lullaby. For me, it's a rock concert, and it wants me to. Existence wants me to share. Being simple, being naked, being vulnerable. I learned these qualities from Osho. When I am on an ego trip, which, believe it or not, is not as often as the viewer might think, I don't share. If I'm on an ego trip, I stop sharing Osho. I would let it calm down. When it calms down, I'm ready to be with anybody in existence. And we're all amazing. But enlightenment does not mean I created the world. Enlightenment means I'm loving and supportive and generous. I chew my food well. I go to bed when I'm tired. All those simple Zen things. It's just not a big deal to be enlightened. And when people say, "Are you enlightened?" I have compassion for them to think that they don't know they're enlightened yet.
Will there
So
be a second? Do you believe in rebirth? Do you think you're going to be
I believe in everything. I have friends that can see their past lives, but they're not as far out as me. I see yesterday as my past life. You know, I see. I am also tired of competing with everybody. I just don't have a problem. I know when I see I when I see nature, I see past lives. I
Mhm.
see prehistoric past lives. but I know that uh, many people have past lives because they're afraid to be here now, and that many people that are here now, like me and Donald Trump, you know, they you know what I'm saying? So if you're here now without being aware of all the lessons from the past, all the love that was shared with you for hundreds of lifetimes, in other words, where is the marriage between your whole being
Mm,
and right now? Because right now is a very physical statement.
mm,
But for me, again, right now, the doors are open, the windows are open. I have no idea what if I'll be happy the next moment, or or sad the next moment. But right now, I'm just thrilled to talk to you. It's kind of fun. That's why I do these foolish talks. You
no,
know,
they're not foolish. It's fun.
yeah, you're a foolish person. I don't know why I'm talking to you.
No, you're not. Oh,
Yeah,
in a recent interview, you said that you don't like chasing anything now, and you
yeah,
like things to come to you. Include it's a very feminine quality from my experience, the
yeah.
receptivity.
Wow, that's so sweet. I don't remember saying that, but I like it. It made me feel good.
Mm.
I actually
How
said that.
you did in one of your interviews. I'm not making it up. I promise.
Oh, that's beautiful. Because sometimes interviews are spontaneous, but I love every man has a female quality, and every woman has a male quality. And I think we it's it's wonderful to know it, but sometimes when you act it out, it becomes not real. So I love that you have male energy, but I would prefer you were a woman with male energy, and I prefer I'm a man with female energy, and uh, so there's it's pretty amazing. But if I felt my female energy and I acted it out totally, I don't think I would. I would probably be a great guy, but I wouldn't know who I am. I wouldn't know who I am, and I don't know what I actually mean by that, but I really I'm blessed to have had four sisters and no mother, and they taught me a lot to respect women for sure. When I go to like I've never been with a prostitute, they would be so mad at me, or and when I heard a woman, I hear them saying, "Are you kidding? You apologize right now." So that part of having feeling female energy has been unbelievable blessing for me. Unbelievable. And I know how to say I'm sorry, and I try and do it in the moment, not 3 weeks later. Because sometimes as a man, you do hurt women, and then you have to be ready to take it back. And if a woman's great, she will take it back.
Mm,
Sometimes, it's always interesting because sometimes you hurt a woman not because you weren't gentle, but because the woman, you touched the wound even though you didn't do anything wrong. And then it's hard to say you're sorry because it's her life, you know.
mm,
But I know how to say I'm sorry and I know how to respect women. And I mean, gosh, Osho would get mad at you, if you hurt a woman, he'd be really upset, So you have to be as gentle as possible. In the group room, oftentimes we acted out hurting people, but it was always resolved. That's what people don't know. That even in the moments when Osho said sex and violence, he wanted you to complete your life in that group. He never said, now that you know how to fight, take it into take it out on the streets. He was because we were all so gentle, we almost had to fight. When we met Osho, it was all hippies, all love generation. Fighting was out. And he saw that we had never learned to be violent. So we would do it in a group context. And I don't even want to talk about it, but it works, to be violent for a moment and see that that's not who you are. Instead of thinking that's not who you are.
this need for violence, competition, What is it? And I'm not saying it's not there in women, it
Yeah,
takes different
yeah,
expressions, but in men, you see it being expressed extrovertly, outwardly. Like,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's I that's 3,000 hours of talking, but it's just a lack of love. You know,
okay, yeah, that's a
right?
good.
Uh, Now the beauty of it is that I love you, but if we were playing basketball, I want to win. But it's at the end of the game, I want to have a cup of coffee with you, a beer with you. The game is over because I know that someone could also beat me. I think that's one of the things you have to know that about competition, that there's someone better than you if you there's nobody better than you if you can surrender, but everybody's better than you if you want to compete.
Mm,
And the beauty of life is there's always somebody that really is good. I don't
mhm,
know if Messi in football. I could be the nicest person in the world, and Messi would beat me in soccer every single moment. And I could be the biggest killer in the world, and Messi would beat me in every single moment. Very few people, and I think God played a joke on us. He did make somebody, you know, the best. But if you ask Messi who he is, he would cry. He would just say, I can hardly wait to meet God. I can hardly wait to say thank you. Because that's how good he is. Messi does not, com- I don't want to talk about that, but there are great, great people that are the best, but they're humble beyond imagination.
mm,
Beyond. That makes you the most That's why Osho wants you to be the best version of yourself. Not so you can walk around and say, I met Osho and I'm the greatest woman that ever existed. No, so that you could meet being humble. You meet being humble by being great. You don't meet being humble by collapsing. You just don't. You have to really be great in order to be humble. But they have nothing to do with each other, and that's the beauty of it. Life is about jumping. I am great. I am great. I am humble. You don't even remember you were great once you're humble.
mm,
It's jumping. I believe in jumping. Like when I come close to Osho, I don't become Osho, but the flame touches my being.
mm,
I become great enough to say thank you. I'm a humble human being now. I would love to serve.
mm.
Crazy shit, no? What do you think? Tell me when I'm wrong.
There is no right and wrong.
Good. Oh, really? And see, I wouldn't even. That's good. So now you put me in the gap. That's great.
Okay. I think I like this question. What is sex for most men? And when women become vulnerable with men, and does this competition, manipulative part of the brain shut off automatically, or it's still on?
Aha. So again, you ask 72-year-old questions. In other words, it's a different answer for someone that's 13 and a different answer for a man that's 72.
Give me both the answers.
Okay, at 13, it's you can get blinded by your chemistry. You can
Mhm.
get blinded by your chemistry. Also, women can get blinded by the chemistry, and I always like the fact that men get blinded once a minute, women get blinded once an hour. So, if in order for it to be playful, that 1 minute that the man gets enlightened, he meets the woman when she's in the 38th minute and she's ready.
Mm,
Men seem to be, and I men seem to be more ready than women more of the time. Women are also ready, but not as much. So it's a different question for men and women. You've seen the goldfish where the male goldfish is just chasing the woman his entire existence. How exhausting is that? And then once in a while, the woman decides, yes, it's right. You know, so I would say that's why I don't believe in the first 28 years of existence. It's all a practice. You're practicing life for the first 28 years. And the fun thing is, and it's in my book, when I was a hippie, we didn't trust anybody over 30.
Mhm.
And once you become over 30, you don't trust anybody under 30. So I waited for so very, very long to respect women. You know, I it's not that I didn't love them and like them and want to be with them, but it was not based on thought. It was based on chemistry.
Mm.
Then eventually you get to think, and if you and then you can see how many times maybe you could have been more gentle, that the woman actually liked you. You could have actually, you know, uh, and then at one point you become feminine yourself again. I look at you, you're a beautiful young woman. You know what I hope? That you love your husband. Like, so it took so very long for that sexual energy to become a blessing. So even sexual energy pops into life, but we need it to pop faster. And what we're missing here is the word witnessing. You need to witness your own body, and the witness makes the body more gentle. So when you witness your sexual energy, it actually becomes more gentle. And the beauty of and the reason it's so painful for young people to understand, and it's easy to be sexy in the mind, more beautiful to be sexy from the heart. But then you keep going down into the belly where your sexual energy is more love. And then it has to come up though. And that's what for me sexual energy is. It helps you to move the energy up from the hara into the heart. And that's the empty heart. See, when you're here, it's just sex. When it's here, it's just almost violent because it's not loving. And when you drop into the belly, you have a chance to now go back up. And that, for me, you need sexual energy to to fall in love. Can you believe it? Here it's sex, here it's love. So that when the energy is in your hara and you can use your sexual energy to go up to the empty heart where you're actually alone, including the whole world. See, when you're alone, you're the whole universe is in your heart, but you're so loving you would never hurt anyone, and everybody's comfortable with you. And then you move to no mind, and in no mind you can either practice yoga or you can practice tantra. It doesn't make a difference whether you make love all day long or meditate all day long if the energy is moving up.
Mm.
Yeah, I know that sounds crazy and I may be wrong,
No, it
but
doesn't
it's
sound crazy.
I love the empty. Osho was so beautiful. He allowed you to be so sexy and to be so intelligent. So he was hoping that you would end up in the hara. He was hoping the witness would be born.
Mm.
He Osho knew you were enlightened. You don't even think you're still enlightened. I know, I can see in your mind you don't think you're enlightened, but you are. You're already very loving, but being loving is no good. Being until you go till the witness is born.
Mm.
Till the witness is born. When the witness is born, life begins again. So instead of 24 hours a day, you now have 48 hours a day. You have 24 hours where you take care of your son and your husband and your life and your jobs and Osho, 24 hours a day. And exhausting, you get in bed exhausted. But once you learn the key of witnessing, then you have 48 hours a day because you have 24 hours to take care of life and 24 hours to look at your life. Once you do that, there's no such thing as time. That's how time disappears when you're out of life and your inner life are good friends.
Mm.
Time disappears, thought disappears, enlightenment is all there is.
Mm.
But let's not give too much credit to enlightenment. It's just adding the witness to your everyday life.
It's the hard part.
It's not easy, but it's possible. And I like to say this because 10 minutes a day is enough. Forget about that 48 hours a day. That's Osho talk. But just 10 minutes a day of being in love and just breathing into it. 10 minutes a day of being in your belly, in your heart, naked, breathe into it and let it become, slowly, slowly more important. We need to teach people in the West that meditation is such a delight. you know it's not a negative thing. It's not against the church, it's not against your
Mm.
politics. It's just such a delight to be a nobody.
I think
Such a
the main hindrance I see is it's a slow process. It's not quick. Usually people do psychedelics and stuff because
Oh
it,
yeah,
it
absolutely. They work, by the way, but they don't work forever.
yeah.
Witnessing is a forever moment.
It's a slow process and it takes a lot of patience. And usually that's what we don't have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say because I'm so far away from things now. You know, I drugs for me are a waste of time. But I loved them when I did them. Sometimes they'd be mad at Osho, and I would go take a drug or something. And
Why were you so mad at Osho so many times?
oh, I get mad at Osho because he was so demanding. He wanted so much from me. I mean, and I don't blame him. I have a big energy. I want to share, uh, but I mean, I don't mind being an asshole. And I don't mind being a lover. Whatever space I'm in, I know how to share because the witness is even an asshole. It's not like the witness is such a great guy or anything.
Mm.
But no, you get mad at Osho because you waste some. He wanted so much from you. By the way, he takes your whole youth sometimes. He took my whole youth, and
Yeah.
then you get mad at him because I could have maybe been, president of the United States or something like that.
Mm.
If you
Mm.
know what I mean. But it didn't
Yeah.
last forever. But it's fun to be mad at Osho if you also the witnesses involved.
Mm.
If witnesses involved. But I know your readers now don't might even be mad at me or might even love me, but all of it is I'm just trying to really teach being yourself. And yourself as an asshole like Krishna Prem, or sometimes it's a great woman like yourself. And I don't want you to be me, and I don't, but I'm ready to say to you, let go,
Yeah.
let go,
Well,
trust yourself.
it's
Don't build
great.
a house on the bridge. Keep
It
moving, keep
yeah.
moving. So simple,
It just shows growth is
so
not
simple.
always linear. So it's great that you are just being real and telling that, hey, you go through everything.
Yeah, it takes every form. It takes a form of Krishna Prem. It takes your form. It takes a beautiful geese flying through the sky. I mean, the truth is formless, and when you see a form, look at it as a mystery.
Krishna Prem, how was the ranch running? Because you were involved with getting the.
Oh, I
How was the
hated the.
money and economics part? Because you
You
were.
know, I got kicked out of the ranch every day. Sheila didn't like me because again, you can see that I was too strong for Sheila. You're not stronger than Sheila, but too strong. And she didn't want strong men there. She wanted surrendered men that worked hard. And she wanted to give the power, and Osho agreed with her to give the power to women. And from the very first moment, I didn't like the ranch. I supported it completely. I worked hard. I raised money, uh, but it was just not me. And in retrospect, what I want to say is um, if I was Sheila, I would have broke also. Sheila was a great woman to begin with. She was so good at what she does. It's incredible, powerful beyond belief, intelligent beyond belief. But in the end, she was not a meditator. She was a doer. And she was out of balance. just like I'm out of balance. I'm not saying a word. I have total respect for Sheila, but in the end, she broke and she lost, and it's only because she didn't know how to meditate. And
Mm,
I would have broken too. I don't mean, and Osho was unbelievably big, unbelievably demanding, unbelievably loving. And here's something that no one tells you about. We went to the best lawyers in the world and we said, how long can Osho stay in America? And the lawyer said, if we love Osho, he can stay for 3 years. If we hate Osho, he could stay for 3 years. What they didn't know is we also had lawyers that loved Osho, like Naren, the star of Wild Wild Country. And we stayed for 5 years. Now, here's the question that I always ask myself. We spent $65 million on that ranch, and Osho was here to come, and Osho was here to go. He had no attachment to the ranch.
mm,
And so it was painful. Now, so what I'm saying is I hated the ranch. I also learned a lot by hating the ranch. You
mm,
could interview other people that loved the ranch, but for me, I could tell right away that Sheila was on self destruct.
mm,
By the way, she kicked me out 3 times. She didn't, she wasn't thrilled that I was there.
mm. It's a power struggle, I guess. So,
I don't, it was an amazing journey and I wish you could have been on it. And that's the thing. Osho created fabulous theater all around him all the time.
yeah, yeah.
Am I disappointing you? I'm not such a great guy as far as the ranch or anything.
No, no, I don't easily get disappointed. So no.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm still in Pune. I live in Pune and it's the same here. It's a difficult place to live
Yeah.
because it is India, and also in trouble here all the time too. But Osho said in public, you'll love this, that Krishna Prem, I don't have to work or meditate, and that almost was a green light to leave that boy alone. He's still going to work for me all the time, and but he's out of control. He if you put him in a job, he's going to do bad. Just
Mm,
let him be,
mm.
and it worked for him, and it worked for me.
Yeah, I get that energy from you.
Yeah, but I'm
And I
here. I support the place 100%. I'm so, but Osho is not in the past for me. He's here right now, but it's not a good-looking man or a great meditator. It's just an essence. I'm here because I can still smell the truth. I can still smell love. I can still looking at you. I can still smell beauty. It, these are things that are so subtle that people call me an idiot for being here. It's the role is reversed. Why would you be in Pune?
Mm,
You know,
mm,
and I don't even have an answer except that I'm still thrilled to be alive here. I
mm.
can hardly wait for this interview to end. I have so many friends I want to say hello to and have a coffee with, and you know, it's
I
the
will
high
not.
season.
I will not keep you long. I don't. I
No,
try. I
but
try.
just ask me. I want to ask you one question. Don't you feel better 1 hour later than when you called me?
I'm sorry. What?
Don't you feel better 1 hour later than when we first spoke?
Oh yeah,
You know
absolutely.
why? Because it's
I was.
two people talking about Osho.
Yes.
Instead of you being alone thinking about Osho, we're living him. And I don't know if your audience will like this interview. I'm not sure I like myself right now. Uh, but I really I want to hammer on people, to let go and to relax. And in that hammering, sometimes it looks like I'm doing something with the hammer, but I'm
No.
not.
No.
Muktananda, he was a master when Osho was alive. He used to hit you with a peacock feather. That's all and that was enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what enough is. I'm in search of what is enough. How can I be so gentle with my friends and have them still feel it?
Mm-hmm. Krishna Prem, I grew up in Pune, so I've been to.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's funny. I know it's quite poetic, actually.
Yeah. Did your parents know
But
Osho? Did they know
but I've
Osho?
seen but they knew him, but my some of my family was his sannyasins, but I wasn't introduced to him because it was all hippie and not good for a teenager or a young kid. So
Yeah.
so I was but the thing I wanted to ask you is, I've seen the commune from outside, from when he
Yeah.
was in the body, and I visited recently too when I was there in Pune. Do you feel
Ooh.
the place is still same? Do you think it's changed? Do you?
Yeah, no, of course, it's always changing. And, what's going to happen in the very near future is the Indian Friends will be running the resort. So it's switching as we speak from west to east. Osho loved the west, but he never forgot the east. Do you know what I mean? And so when he was in his body, he was really trying to wake up the west to meditation. And he did a pretty good job. It's difficult. The west is difficult. So it looked like he only liked Westerners, but he was looking for what is balance. And right now, what's happening is the Westerners are actually proud that they don't have to be in Pune. So they're not coming so much. It's almost like an ego trip. Like I can live without Osho.
Mm,
And then the Indian friends are getting wealthier. They're getting more alert, and they want Pune for themselves. So that's a now. I like that idea, except believe it or not, the Indian friends are now the ones that are young. They don't Osho is not from India, you know.
yeah.
He's from existence. And so he loves you in America, he loves me in India. The whole life is the word balance. The
Mm,
whole life is the word and. It's not me or you, beloved. It's me and you. And so he was always looking for balance, but balance is unbelievably difficult.
yeah.
It's the same as enlightenment. It's unbelievably difficult as a thought, not not as not as a non-thought. So right now the place is going to be Indian, and I'll still come because I love the Indians, but they need to grow up now. It's the Indians' turn to grow up. Indians think they're meditating. My God, you know, it's you can't think you're meditating. You have to grow up. But it's great. So now it's the Indians' turns to grow up, and it's going to be painful because they come with a false ego of enlightenment. You don't meet Westerners that come with a false ego of enlightenment. They like me, they get one sooner or later. But so I'm a little concerned about Pune, but I was concerned when Osho was here. It's a magical mystery tour. I hope that the place exists. Osho was very, very practical. He would say, if the bills are paid, we stay in Pune. If the bills aren't paid, we leave. So the bills have to be paid. Now, the bills in the past were paid by the Westerners. Now we have to see if the Indians are actually willing to grow up. I don't know. It's a mystery whether the Indian friends can do it. I don't know. I don't know. They have certain qualities that I don't have, so that's why I don't know. But I'm concerned about Pune.
Mm,
But right now, Osho hasn't been in his body. For me, he left yesterday, but I just heard it's like 35 years that he's not in his body. And then he gave his dream to Jayesh, who was an amazing man, also had a dark side like everybody else, but he was amazing. And what I mean by a dark side, when he went beyond himself every single day in order to do Osho's work.
mm,
I
mm,
love him for that. But he just left his body, and I laugh because you know the people running the place now. I thought they would fail for sure,
mhm,
but they haven't. The place is still clean, and the only thing you have to remember: Osho did not care about anything. Don't change the dynamic meditation. Don't change his meditations. You can change the physical plant every day, but don't change his meditations. And I must say that every single person that has power would never change the meditations.
Mm,
And I really honor, I change them sometimes, just because I'm older. I don't want to do a whole hour dynamic, but
mm,
that's up to me as an individual. But the resort is still a home of meditation, and that I totally appreciate. What happens to the physical plant? I happen to be a physical person. I want to change it the way I want to change it, if you know what I mean. But everybody's like that. But no, Osho is still here. The dynamic, the kundalini, there's the silent sittings. It's last night. I mean, it was thrilling to be here last night. We sang Osho songs. It was thrilling. Yeah. So the jury's out. Today it's here, but I don't know about tomorrow. It may be better, but it's no longer uh, Westernism. It's so cute when they say, I don't want to come to Pune. I can see them saying, I feel I don't need it right now. In fact, they don't need it right now. So gratitude has never been a gratitude is a big word,
mm,
coming to just to say thank you.
mm,
That's why I come. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to say thank you. I'm looking to feel love, you know, and it's amazing. So yes, we're still here. The bookstore is still running beautifully with new books. All the Hindi translations into English is so beautiful.
mm,
So life is still going on. I am worried, but I'm not worried a lot.
mm,
I would love to see it be bigger and better. And when people like me leave their body, when I met Osho, and I was in service, and uh, I've gotten so much from both of those experiences. I'm going to die soon, and then it'll be a totally brand new thing where nobody knew who he was. And Osho said that's when the real work will begin. I don't know if he's right or not, but that's what he said, you know, that
mm,
it requires innocent people to love me without having met me,
mm.
or a tremendously aware person to know. But the jury's out. Osho didn't want to be a god. He wanted to be awareness, witnessing, and love. That's
Yeah.
it,
I just hope,
I guess.
mm, yes. No, it's beautiful what you said, and I agree. I don't see this as something which was there just for these 30, 40, 50 years. A person like
Yeah,
me, uh, who didn't know anything about Osho just falls in love with him randomly.
exactly.
I am
Oh,
pretty sure.
oh,
Uh, yeah, so
yeah, I mean, I would love to meet you here too. I could see that you are a meditator. I know you don't have a lot of free time, but there'll be a moment when you walk into Osho's existence where you'll just start crying, you know,
uh,
because you had to hold it together for so long, and you knew for a fact that there is a bigger life than taking care of your family and loving your husband. There's a part of you that just wants to cry and say thank you, you know.
I've already done that so many times, and it keeps happening ever
That's
since.
beautiful. I can
Yeah,
see it in you. I didn't mean to, I don't know you as a person, but I'm so glad you can say that. It
yeah,
is so valuable to just be humble, to just let go, just to say, I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm not a mind, I'm not a heart. I'm existence appearing as a human being. It's so very, very important to know that that's what a past life is. A past life is knowing that you, at one point, did not have a mind and a body and a heart, and now you do. And
mm,
one day you won't. And you do not want to say your last thought does not want to be, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware, because this is so beautiful to let go. That's all meditation is. It's dying before you die. Let's stop making it a bigger thing than that.
yeah. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's difficult just to think about.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. That life makes life so difficult. You
Yeah,
know, life is, and when I say life is stupid, I mean you and me. We are stupid. So cute. It's so cute.
Do
Yeah.
you still want people to like you? Is that still a thing in you?
Not so much. Not so much. I can only give you an example of yesterday I ordered a cup of tea. At the same time, a girl ordered a cup of tea. I've known her for 40 years. We've never said hello. And I said to her, "You first." And she got her cup of tea. She leaned over and kissed the back of my hand. It blew my mind to the point I don't know who it was. It would be another 40 years before I find out. A resort has no walls, it has no rules. We're all just here. So sometimes people hate me. I don't blame them, but I think a lot more people should hate me. It's first of all, it's very healthy for them to hate someone like me because I can honestly say that I am worthy of love. So, and I'm an asshole. So I don't, when you hate me, I totally get it,
Hmm.
and I support it. And I know that one day you're going to kiss the back of my hand,
Hmm.
and one day I won't remember who did it. It's I love this journey. I just love this journey, and
Hmm.
I love people that love me, and I love people that hate me just as much. You know,
Wow, that's a big statement, but
yeah, I deserve to be hated. Honest, I'm ready to be an asshole, but I know deep down I am existence appearing as an asshole. I have a big personality. I have a big life. I'm not as big as people think I am, but
Hmm.
I present myself that way. But I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it. Sometimes I feel like when I'm loud, it's just a rose
Hmm.
giving off its perfume. You know, and if I were to all of a sudden be quiet, that rose might die. You know, so you know it. I don't know what to say anymore about life. It's just a mystery to be lived. That's the first thing Osho said to me in his writings is life is not a problem to be solved. Life is to be a mystery to be enjoyed,
Hmm.
to be celebrated. And it's true. In 50 years of looking at that sentence, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. And I'm sure Osho stole it from somebody else. This is the truth. It's not a thought.
Yes,
Some
that's.
words, some words dance. Some words dance.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Krishna Prem, for coming on this show.
Yeah,
I really
thank
enjoyed. I really
thank
enjoyed.
you. I find it very easy to look at you and to feel your love, and I hope some of the viewers will see you as much as they see me because there is a balance. We don't even know each other, and I can feel the balance.
Yeah.
And balance is so much fun. So much fun.
The
I
one takeaway from this for me is witnessing. I sometimes slack
Yeah,
on that.
amazing. It's amazing, and that's why Osho wrote a whole book called "Only Losers Win This Game."
Mm,
And that's what he meant. Be yourself, be a braggart like
yeah.
Krishna Prem, be a mother. But one day you'll see, my gosh, I'm naked, I'm alive, I'm humble. I'm going to add that to my existence. Hey, you're great. What
Mm.
happens now? I put a link into my free books so that people can read my free books. Uh, I got tired of selling books, so I give them away for free now. So I put a link in there. Maybe you could send it to your mailing list. You
I'm
know.
just going to show it here. This is
Oh,
this.
that's sweet of you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Maybe
does.
look up.
Mr. Prem does have free books on it. He's been generous. Anybody who wants to read can go there and read the books. It's guru.com. And I'll put a link later on.
Yeah, yeah. It's very simple. It spells guru. Guru spells guru.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with Osho, and the girl sang that song to her, and I stole it from her. I didn't even life. You steal the best and
Yes.
give away the
Inspired.
rest.
You get inspired.
Great, thank you so much. Will you
Yeah.
hang up? There's things to do.
Yes.
Fun to have.
I will. I hope to see you again. Bye bye.
Thank you. You're
Bye.
great.
Bye.
Love.
Love to you too.
Thank you. Boom.
Na festa do fim de semana, só rolê bom. Ela chega e desencana com passo bem solto. Passo bem solto. Passo bem solto. Na festa do fim de semana, vai me parar, 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 vai me parar.
Enquanto parede, enquanto parede, enquanto parede, enquanto parede.